Welcome to another Greater Tax Returns video tutorial essentials. In this video presentation, we're going to share with you uh, just some additional information regarding your the documents that you need for from your clients to complete their returns. Again, over here on the right hand side uh, of your tax preparation, I mean of your agent GTR agents portal, is a list of is where you can find any forms that you need to process a return and download on your computer. Right here are the checklists that you can download and forward to your client. These are the checklists here. And it's pretty much self-explanatory. It kind of helps you help your client to get these documents to them. Basically, after you've gotten initial information, completed the questionnaire, that can kind of give you an idea of what documents is needed from that, from that client. And you simply fill out the information here and keep a copy. And then send a copy to the client, whether you take a photo of it and text it to the client, whether you email it, or in fact just give it to the client manually so that the client knows exactly what he or she needs to process their returns. So the key to this document is making legible copies, because a lot of the agents that work with Greater Tax Returns, generally they don't see their clients face to face. The clients either live in other areas of the country, or may live local but don't want to come in and do the face to face. So this just makes it convenient for you and the client, and you're able to process a lot more returns than normal, because of the time it takes just sitting with the client, talking to the client and all of that. You can gauge your time. Not to say that spending time with the client is not important, it is, but it just helps you coordinate your schedule in an effective manner. So right here it says general information, please make copies legible or may delay process. That is key. So if you plan on getting copies, whether they're scanned in a computer, whether they're faxed, or even the most important, if they are taken by mobile device, which we have a video that shares with you how to take a proper image or photo of documents, and we've given great examples of how to do that, so that you can instruct your client on the proper way to get those documents to you so that they're legible, and go from there. So and then of course we have entries here where you can actually add your email, your fax number, and we do encourage you to get a fax number, and then all the documents that's necessary for any given return. Of course, one given person is not going to need all of these documents, but we basically, GTR covered everything in terms of the documents you need. Now, there are a couple of documents where we're saying they're optional to get. You do that based on your judgment. Okay, if you feel you want copies of birth certificates, do it, especially if it's a situation where there's an argument over who has a child, number one. And that could vary depending on the situation. For example, we've had situations where we had a grandmother and a mother, and the grandmother decides to claim the grandbaby. Okay, and shouldn't have, claimed the grandbaby. And I'm not saying that a birth certificate is necessary there, but a birth certificate basically proves who the child belongs to. That's number one. Divorce, custody documents, or friends of the court docs is also a good thing to have, because it basically lets a person know who has custody, who's in charge of this baby. Because there's a lot of situations where, you know, fathers and mothers fight over the children, and this kind of eliminates all of that. Okay, if you need it. If a person is a foster parent, we need current documents, and they have to be current for that particular year. I think depending on the state, foster licensings are updated every year. So, you know, you want to make sure that the foster parenting license is current. And the reason why we're saying this is that if, in fact, a child is under the care of a foster parent, and that child transferred to another foster parent or even goes home, you know, the foster parent only has right to claim that child for that year, and that's it. If the child is not in the home with that foster parent, and that foster parent, you know, you take it for granted that the child is still in the home, then you run the risk of a identity theft situation, because the parent is claiming them. Okay, so you want to make sure that all of documents are up to date. Okay, and then guardianship documents. If there's a situation where you have a person that suffers from mental illnesses or has challenges, and we have a guardianship situation, it's good to have copies of that, you know, just as a backup. Another thing that we've added is the child care proof of child care. Is something that the IRS is requesting too, and that's the name of the person that, let's say I have a child and I have a person that, you know, watches my child after school. Then I need the name, the phone number, the address, and if they don't have an EIFIN number, employees identification number, working as a business, then that person has to get the social security number of that person. Okay, that's just a requirement now, because of the child care credit. They want to, you know, have proof that, you know, this person is being taken care of, who's involved with that process. Also, it's not added on here, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't ask that, you know, agents produce receipts that I paid my babysitter, okay, if you will, or child care provider, the money. And so that might be a good idea too, because a lot of people are taking advantage of this, and the IRS is trying to cut down on that. Okay, they want to give the credit to people who needs it, but at the same time, people are taking advantage of that. So you want to make sure that. And that's it in a nutshell. Just go, you know, check off the documents that you need from that client, and that's it. So again, thank you for joining us in this video tutorial, and we look forward to connecting with you in the next.